See me well, hear me well, and let's get started with some coding today. Is there anyone? Am I alone? Hope you're having a good Sunday. And thanks everyone for stopping by. Is it even working? Hope so. I'll just give me a sign the outer world that I'm not freaking alone here. Hey, someone is here. I'm not alone. It's good to know. Alrighty, so there's a bunch of things I did lately. Well, not really, just 2 or 3 things. But anyway, one of those that I posted on my Instagram were these columns. I really like the look of it. I think this is some of the famous GIFs that you can find back elsewhere. It's been implemented with, I don't know, Cinema probably, or maybe Blender, anything. And I was thinking like I would like to implement this one with the JavaScript. So let's start to do this one with the JavaScript. Even though there's not much of us today really here. Summer is going strong. So let's do this one. I think it's a pretty simple one, so I might have some time to explain to you how I did the photogrammetry part that I recently posted in Twitter. So let's get started with the Canvas Sketch. I'll be using the Canvas Sketch because it's real easy to use this one. I'll switch the screen so you could see my screen better. Yikes, yeah. So I'll be using the Canvas Sketch module to build the GIF, to record the video, and because it has a basic setup for the Three.js, it's real easy to start with. So where's the, yeah, here we go. There's an option. I just called this one noise columns. For whatever reason, came up with this name. And let's start. Okay, so I'll just copy paste the thing, and it should install all the modules and should start the animation. There we go. It's all started. Now we have the sketches folder here, and we can just open the JavaScript and let's get started. I can't think of an easier way to start doing something in 3D actually than the Canvas Sketch model, because even if you want to use the basics Three.js example, you would still need to run some kind of server, you would still need to create the HTML, the JavaScript file, maybe the bundling. Oof, that's a lot of things to do, and it's just one command line function to run. Okay, so we have this thing. I don't know, I really like when the angle is 45. I'll put my camera with an angle, I don't know, 222. So I'll just do the basic setup. The background is black, that's all right. Well, thank you, Nikolai. Yeah, probably, I don't know. I started streaming in English in my hope that more people would come to it. But I don't know, it's still all the Russian speaking guys here in the chat. Anyways, I'm glad that I can be of some help and I can be useful to somebody. That's real good to know. Alrighty, so yeah, I've been here. So just the sphere geometry for now, and with the basic material, and we have the wireframe. And if I remove this one, it's going to be just a red circle. That's boring as fuck, but we need to move further. So let's get started with the actual animation. If I look closer to this video, I'll just put it here somewhere. So we have some kind of layers here, and well, there are a bunch of ways we could do those layers. We could, of course, create the actual shape and then maybe color it with those layers. We could morph that shape maybe later on with the JavaScript, but I think it's a bit easier to do those layers with an actual kind of layers, right? So let's try to do those layers, layers. So I need some number for like how many layers I would have. About the course, yeah. So this is actually going to be a 3-part course probably. One is going to be like the basic front-end intro, like the HTML and CSS stuff, and then the next one is going to be like a kind of advanced front-end. It's not going to be the React probably, it's just going to be something like you could do the complex layouts, like you could do the good naming in it, HTML, like the thing that you call Verstальщик actually, yeah, like the markup stuff. And then some automatization for this coding tasks, like, and some of my experience for the past decade with the creating HTML that actually works in the browser and it could be supportable. Yeah. And this is the second part of the course, and the third part is going to be something probably with the WebGL and Three.js. So I'm still figuring out the exact, I don't know, the number of the lessons I can come up with, like the feasible number of lessons, because you can see that I have like 100 of streams now, and I could continue for years. So I need to narrow that down to some, I don't know, 20 maybe hours of the videos and the lessons. So it's going to be something about the Three.js and the animations in general, maybe the generative art. I'm not so much of an artist myself, but I can still teach somebody to draw something, and then if the person is creative, I think it can go far with those tools and create something beautiful. Because myself is just, I don't know, I'm just seeing something beautiful and then replicating it, and just like that. Once in a month I come up with my own idea. And Ellen, yeah, I think I did the same thing like a couple of streams ago. It was with the red particles, where I would left the trails for the particles on my screen, and it's kind of this thing you're asking right now, probably. Well, I think if I would start something to do myself, I would choose Vue, but if I would need to do something for the money, it would probably be React, because React is more popular. All right, let's get started with the WebGL finally. So it was planned as a simple stream, but you never know. Okay, I would probably create the folder shader right away. And I'll copy just 2 basic shaders that I have. They really are basic, just the fragment and the vertex, because obviously we're going to be using WebGL and we're going to be using shaders, because I hate using WebGL without shaders, because, well, yeah, that's it. Alrighty. Let's get started. So where was I? I need some number for the number of layers I would have in my GIF animation. So let's do this like the number equals 10 for now. All right, and then I have a loop until the number, and then inside that loop I would probably need to create some layers. So let's start with those. I think they'd have the same geometry, so the geometry I can come up with like from the start probably, and the geometry is going to be, if the camera is in position 2, 2, 2, so the geometry probably should be something like U3. I'm using the new keyboard, new MacBook. It's really hard to type and speak at the same time, by the way. I don't know how I could handle that. Sometimes my mind just stops. Okay, geometry is a plain bifurcated geometry, and then I need to set 2 attributes, like the size of those geometries, and then let's set the material to just for the debug purposes, and then then I'll create the mesh, which is going to be equal mesh, and then material and geometry. Geometry. And then, well, I think I'd better create some group for those. Maybe like this, so you see it better on your screens, because it YouTube would probably spoil all the quality. Maybe not. And then I need to add this group to the scene. This is just like a div or a wrapper, you know, scene add group. I don't know why I'm saving on those characters. Actually, it's better to just type the full name. It's just 3 more characters. Okay. And then group at mesh. And we should probably see something if what geometry has already been declared. Yeah, I haven't deleted the old code. Yeah, so now we have something like this. I think better rotate geometry right away. Yeah, now we don't see it because this is a mesh normal material. Okay, what would be mesh basic material, and then something like this. Yes, now we see the geometry. I've actually created just 10 shapes on the same spot, which is not not real good. So I'll create some level part. That's going to be equal I divided by number, and then mesh position Y is going to be equal to this level. So now we have something, well, already beautiful, some cyber stuff, generative art, maybe, I don't know. That's cool stuff already. So now let's change the again, how does this look like? Yeah, I think I kind of like the angle. I might want to move this whole thing a bit to the bottom, downwards, which is y-axis, and it's gonna be equal minus 0.5 maybe. No, I broke everything down because it's not. Yeah, I just used the group. Yes, so now it's kind of centered. I might have actually just did something like this, but I hate that for some reason, random reason. So now we have this. And by the way, if I just add one more, maybe something like this, maybe they will start to touch up. Yeah, so it's kind of, it's an interesting illusion, right? Like we have a cube out of those shapes actually. So it's 1 by 1, and the height is also 1, and we kind of have the cube, and we're looking at the whole thing from the 45 degrees angle, and then you have the perfect illusion of a cube. The only thing that spoils that one is that we actually have the perspective camera, and you can see that it's not straight line here. We have some perspective. Otherwise we would have a straight line if we would use the orthographic camera. All right, we have this now. Now I kind of want to use the shaders, right? Why would I even add them? Because I always forget how to handle all those materials, shader uniforms, lots of stuff to type. I'll just copy paste this thing. Let's call it let's material mats. It's going to be shader material. So we have the resolution. I probably need to use the level. I don't actually need this resolution part. It's going to be float and 0 by default. Then I probably need something like the playhead. It's going to be also float 0. Alrighty. So far so good. Now I need the vertex and the fragment shaders. That's just important. Fragment. Well, now I have these. I kind of want to move them into the editor, and the fragment is going to be just the UVs, so we should probably see something colored if I'm using the material again. Yeah, now I'm using it. Yeah, so now we see the layered stuff. For some reason one of those is not like the others, because why? Why do I have this wireframe thin in the center? Did I? Okay, I was adding for the debug purposes before I moved it to the loop. So now we have this, the UVs. Next thing I'd like to do, I want to use the noise, GLSL noise. Try to use noise. I think I need some 3D noise or some big noise. Big noise. Boom, boom, boom. Simplex 2D noise. I need Perlin noise. And if you still don't know who is Ken Perlin, you gotta Google that stuff. Classic Perlin noise. I don't need classic. I don't like classic. I like something contemporary. Is that it? Or I copied everything? Yeah, probably. So inside the fragment shader, I'd like to use this noise. And then again, I have this material which is called matte. Let's make it personal. Let's call this one Matt. This is completely random reason. I don't know a single person named Matt. I mean, personally. So, but when you come up with the weird names for the variables, it's kind of easy to remember them then, because Matt is too generic, and then Matt is some guy. And I need to change Matt's feeling of the time. Matt's uniforms, what? Playhead value equals playhead. And it's not the resize function that I needed inside. I need it here. Also need the playhead part. Let's set some duration of the animation, like 15 seconds. Well, that's it. Maybe let's do some size also, so it's not full screen. I don't care, let it be full screen. Yeah, there we go. Nothing really changed so far. We are changing the playhead. I don't even have it here, playhead. And then I also have a level thing. I don't need all the others here. And this scene noise, it gets the vector 4 value inside of it. So let's try to use this one. Like the float noise equals C noise 4-dimensional vector, and then VUV, this is 2 dimensions already, and then 0, 0. And let's change this one to the noise. Let's do it like this. It's gonna be black and white noise. Well, should be black and white noise. I don't see anything because why syntax error? Line 229, and this is the line where I do what? Where I do the noise function, because yeah, it's just a dot. Yeah, now kind of we have the noise. I need to wire up the playhead part here. So it started to leave now. Maybe to multiply this one by 10. So it started to leave now. I mean, it's live. Then probably I need to multiply the UVs by 10, and now we have this noise on each of the layers. I kind of like this visual by this already time. What I don't like about this one is that the noise comes to the borders of an image. So maybe let's try to fix this one right away. So I'll use the border, and the border is going to be equal to some space here. Smooth step. No step what? I mean, let's do the variable like the width. The width, something like 1/10 of the width of the whole image. And then gonna be 0 width VUV. And then let's see what this border is about. Nothing, because what I did. Smooth step. Dimension mismatch. Dimension mismatch. Oh, because yeah, this is two-dimensional and this is one-dimensional, and then we get into this error. So now we have the black border. Well, maybe it's better the other way around. It doesn't really matter at this point, but yeah. So now we have the small border, small value on the border, and then let's try to do let's try to do a bunch of those, but I need the black one actually, so I need it the vice versa, the other way around. The border 1 is going to be the same for the y, and then the border 2 is going to be 1 minus, and then the border 3 is going to be same thing but the x, and then the actual border is going to be multiplied by border 1, border 2, border 3, and then let's visualize that one. Yes, now we have the smooth, kind of smooth border. Maybe there was a simple way actually. I could have come up with the simpler, I don't know. But anyway, it's not that hard, right? So now I have the smoothing function on the border of the square, and I could just multiply my noise by this border. Noise multiply with a border. And yeah, I need to visualize the noise again. And now we have it kind of smoothed. It doesn't come up to the edge, right to the edge. It's smoothing out on the edge to the blackness, right? Well, I'll show later on why I actually need this. This is for the GIF to look more beautiful. All right. What's next? Now I want to build actually those columns, yeah, like those. It doesn't look like that yet. Also, the thing that you might notice that it's actually the black in between and then it's white. So if I just do the like black layers or the white layers, it wouldn't look like that. So I think I would need to stuff like each of those small borders is going to be 2 planes. One is a black one which covers the white one, and yeah, like that. But first let's see how it looks like when we cut those things. To cut things, you usually use either the smooth step function or the step function, or the one that is, I think, better, the a step function. I think I used it in some of the previous streams. So it's something on the edge between the step and the smooth step. It just does the step which is smoothed. Because with the smooth step you need to set the actual smoothness, and with the AA step it just does the smooth cut. I need it inside the fragment shader, and then let's reset noise and call it AA step for the noise, and I don't know, 0.5, let's say like that. So now it's either black or white, depending if it's greater than 0.5 or it's less than 0.5. Well, because this noise, I think it's returning the values between -1 and 1. That's why we kind of need to set 0 to see it's like half black, half white. This is the reason you need to know like what are those noises. So yeah, now we have this. And what I can do next, I can just do this. So if the noise equals 0, discard. Well, it kind of discarding this stuff. I think I also need to set the transparent for the matte. That needs to be transparent, but it doesn't look quite good because all those are just whites and on a black background, and they kind of overlapping, and you can see through, and it doesn't look good. So that's why we need 2 layers actually. And to do the 2 layers, I think I need to color them differently, and that's why I need some flag, like the black trigger. Okay, and then also I need to set different materials for each of those levels. So let's say like the M0 equals clone of the mat, and then the M1 equals clone of the mat2, and then M0 is going to be the, which one? The white one or the black one? What do you think? It's kind of hard to decide which one should go, the black one or the white one here. It doesn't matter, I don't remember which one's going to be black. Anyway, we can change uniforms later on. Uniforms value equals 1, and then by default the black is 0 because it's either black or white here. We're going to be just using those two colors here. Okay, and then for the M0 will just to be verbose, we're gonna set the M1 is going to be black 0, and then I would also need to set the levels for both of them. Level equal to this level, and then about the position. So I would need to create two meshes, one with the M0 and another one with the M1. Mesh and mesh 1. I will be adding them to the group, but I will need to set the positions differently. So I need to set them like real close to each other, but not at the same spot. So it's going to be level. It's mesh 1 minus something small, 100th. Yeah, it stopped moving because and both shapes are just white now. You can see that I have two layers for each of them, but they both are white now, and I think they are too close also. They kind of need to be almost at the same spot. Yeah, now you can see that it's actually two layers with the noise here. So next thing, inside this shader, inside my shader, I need to set the uniform black, and then if black RGB equals the black color. Yeah, now we have each of the layers with a border, with a small white border, smoothed out, and we're getting there, right? And if you look from the below, it's actually, you can only see the white layers with a black border, right? Okay, getting there. Then I kind of need to get back to my noisy stuff. And I need to set those noise things differently now. We're almost there, but this noise, like right now we see they are all the same, but we already have this level thing here. So we just need to account for this layer part. And how do you account for this layer part? Well, I think inside of the noise, we could set the inside of the noise function, like the playhead, so that like each next layer should be the previous one, like back in time, so they could move from below or from the upwards. So if I just add level here, for example, this is the timing part in the noise. I should probably see something. Okay, this is a dot here. Yes, this was a dot from the 10. Yeah, kind of, we could already see that this noise evolves from the bottom to the top. And now let's change the time. Let's make the time dynamic. Let mats equals an array, and then mats push 0 and 1, and then here uniforms, like the same stuff. So it's kind of living its own life right now, but we are not yet there. Not yet there. Now we need the top color to be of something with the color. So where is it? Yeah, let's take this color. This is going to be the last layer, right? The last one should have this color. This means if the level is equals 1, if the level is equals 1, where is the layers? Yeah, it runs from 0 to 1 inclusive, and then if the layer is equals 1, if the level equals 1, so then set this color. And then I don't really need the last black layer. So if it's black and if it's the last layer, I would just do the discard. Just discard it. Now let's see. Yeah, so right now we have those layers, and the last one is just the color. Now I need to move it kind of to the closer, and I think I could already create more layers now, like not the 10, like 50. It starts to look a lot better, a lot closer to what it was intended to. Not yet there, but we're getting there. And then the last layer, I might probably move it a bit, just a bit closer. So if the mesh, if the level equals 1, well, that's actually meaning if the I equals a number, then the mesh position Y. Mesh is the M0, which is M0 is the black one, so I need to mesh 1. Mesh 1 position Y equals what? Level minus 1 divided by the number, something like this. Yeah, now the last layer just have this white background because I moved it right on top of the other two layers. Perfect. Perfect. Now getting there. Now we can use this level to actually color the RGB values. So instead of coloring with the noise, I could actually color with the level. So I could, instead of, well, I could just set it here, set the level. Now it goes into the blackness because level goes from 0 to 1 from the bottom to the top. So we already created something beautiful. Now if I change the sign of this variable, it's gonna go in on top. And I would probably what else? Maybe I should move a bit the noise function in the other way, but actually just change to like this. Yeah, well, it's actually the thing that I wanted to create. But I'm just curious, what's gonna happen if we add the level here? Yeah, I can come up with all those weird kind of things. You see, I think it's beautiful, but it's just beautiful. It's like a forest of some weird things. Maybe level 2. Maybe just like this. Yeah, it's so weird, but it's beautiful, right? You're not commenting anything. Give me some feedback. Isn't that beautiful things? Okay. The other thing I wanted to do here as well is to add this another plane. Let's add another plane. Yeah, never know, but well, still a lot of people watching me in English. I hope so, at least from what I see that they're commenting. And I'm all for making knowledge more accessible, and you can still understand me, right? It's pretty straightforward. Yeah. Yeah. I wanted to make the plane like the hole in some ground where this whole thing grows out of. Let's make it another material. Bread, for whatever reason it's going to be bread, and then the fragment 1. Fragment one. All right, thank you. And then I was just wondering if I'm just speaking to myself in my room and not even connected to the internet. Okay, I don't need this noise function here. What I need here is actually, I don't need this. I just need the frag color to set something. Okay, and the frag color is going to be something like this. All right. Now we have this second shader material, and I will add another shape. Mesh equals. Like 6 by 6, the big one, and then red. I don't know what the things with the names for the materials now, but anyway, and the group. It's not GR, it's a group. Come on. Mesh. And the bread is the second shader material, right? Yeah. So let's see the bread now. Where is the bread? 91, line 91, which is what? Electrical RGB. Yeah. Yeah, so now it's plain. I also need to rotate this one. Rotate this one. Now we have some ground, because I'm crazy. Let's just cut a hole in that ground. So it's gonna be kind of the same way around that I did with the with those borders. So I'll just set something. So I need some width from the coming from the borders actually. Yeah, exactly. I could use the same calculations here, but for completely different purpose. And then let's just multiply this one by border. I mean, it's gonna be the alpha channel. It's gonna be the border. No, like that. Because yeah. So now I kind of have this border, and then I also need this multiplication part with the combined border. And because this border coming from the edges now, I don't need it to come from the edges. I need to come from thing, and then like this float smoothness equals 0, something real small. And then we'll just add this smoothness here everywhere. Yes, now you can see this smoothness on the edge. And it's kind of semi-transparent. And now I need this border to be like a lot bigger than that. Yeah, well, I think I just come up with the pretty good dimensions here. Maybe 0.4 is better in the end. Yeah, and then I need to smooth it out a bit more. And now I need to put some border here. How do I do that? Like if the border equals 0, then just discard. No, equals 1. Actually, I need to discard this part here in the center. Yeah. So then I could change the smoothing part, and the border is gonna be like this. Yeah. Maybe this one is a bit better, like smaller. It's like a line now. Yeah, perfect. Almost perfect. So it's kind of growing from the below, and then I could move this this whole thing a bit higher. So we create the illusion that it's actually growing from this hole in the ground. How I do that? I'll just move this mesh that I just created. Now it's kind of coming from the bottom, from the dungeon or something. I'll just get back with the with the calculations here, so it's not that big. Yeah, there we go. Just created the stuff. I might actually change the dimensions, so it's gonna be a bit more smooth, and anti-aliased. I think also anti-alias true, if I don't remember. No, it's not like that. How do I do that? I think I did that in some of my previous yeah, it's like these attributes anti-alias true. That's a bit better, yeah. So yeah, we just created this thing, and you could play with the noise functions, and you can create different things now. Let's get back to this. Ouch. Something like this, and then it's gonna be just some forests growing out of there, and then could move the camera a bit closer probably. Yeah, it will look a bit better now. I don't know what is this, like a tentacles maybe, something like this. Good morning. Well, the template is actually created with one command line from the Canvas sketch, so it's kind of shared already. Just go to the Canvas sketch repo and you can download this one. All right, what's next? What's next? Yeah, well, it's kind of it for the animation I wanted to create. Well, lately I also created the photogrammetry part, and I wanted to show you a bit of that. Show that one in Twitter. Yeah, so just you can give me the feedback, like how you like this one. If you look from the bottom, it's actually kind of cute too. A different shape. So I'd call this one just a simple exercise with the noise functions. It's pretty easy to do, but the result is beautiful, isn't it? All right, yeah, about the photogrammetry. So yeah, I just created the like the movie. Is it this the one that I wanted? Yeah. So like this, I was just walking by in my park near my house, so Sanovka, and then I recorded the video, like looking around, and then from that video you can actually create where is it again? I'd better go to here. You could actually create the model like this. See? Like the software tries to recreate the 3D structure from all those frames that I recorded in the video. And it's pretty weird and beautiful, except it's not that the quality sometimes is not good, because I like if I was looking that direction, but if I turn around, like I didn't see anything because I wasn't looking behind me, I was just looking forward while I was walking. So then I had this shape, this model, this mesh, and then out of this mesh I just did some 3GS magic and then created the actual scene. I was inspired by the Bruno Mars visuals, or Bruno Simon. Oh my god, why Bruno Mars? Bruno Mars is a singer. I'm sorry, Bruno, if you're watching this. This is so embarrassing. Bruno Simon images. He also experimented with those, like with this stuff, and then I was impressed and I tried to do myself, and then I created this. Yeah. I think we're now looking at some kind of experimental part, because the particles used to be smaller, but it's still kind of beautiful. Yeah. Because I really like the Poplar Fluff, which is Topolini Puch. So I added it here as well because a lot of it's in Rusanovka, and it looks kind of magical, like a magical forest from the real life. So yeah, I really like this look. I think I could actually even upload it and you could try to play with it yourself. Netlify, deploy. Like try to see the magic for yourself. Well, and that's actually it. So I just added some particles flying around, and yeah, and it looks magical. But if you look from the far away, it's just the illusion with the Poplar Fluff and illusion of the real life. Well, I hope that was educational to you and you really like all those looks and like what I do. I'm a bit sad and I'm trying to make my life better. And I really appreciate if I was useful to someone and you learned something good, just give me feedback. Maybe it's not hard to you, but it could make a world to me. Yeah. So that's it. Just like I hoped it was going to be a simple stream. You need to wait for Rusanovka to load because it's 9 megabytes model and the Netlify is a bit slow, so just wait a bit, it's gonna appear soon. Believe in it and it will appear on the screen. Yeah, maybe I could change the particle size here because they seem too big to me. Like, where is it again? Where the fuck is Rusanovka? You're welcome, guys. You are welcome. Let's change the size of the particles because I don't like them that big. Oh, what the heck I did. Yeah. Well, yeah, you might want to play with those. I actually also did the this animation in Canvas Sketch, so I could record the video, and it looks like this. If you haven't seen my Twitter video yet, I did simple flying out stuff here. You could fly in the screen and see the stuff that you could sit on, because I don't remember the word in English for that one. That was actually like the midday. It was so hot for everybody to go out, then nobody there. And it's actually the place where people rare go walking. This is a part of Rusanovka that most rarely walked by the strangers. Yep. Yeah, I used this 3DF Zephyr and I mentioned that in Twitter. You could try that. Yeah. Hope you like that one. Hope it brings some magic to your life. Hope your life is good, and well, as always, I recommend you to say some kind words to the people you love. Just please contact them. Don't what? Короче, скажите кому-то, что вы их любите. Have a good day, everybody. Yay. Goodbye.